Now we're going to talk about the written terms and agreements of the marital covenant, because this is the most important part. Like I said, a lot of you get caught up in this modern society, this modern world, this Western world, and you're trying to integrate and you're trying to integrate the scriptures into that. They don't work together, they are incompatible, right? So what you call dating, where you go and ask a bunch of questions, what's your favorite this, what do you like, where do, get out of that child's play. Dating is where you go to negotiate the terms of agreement. I see you as a potential I see you as a potential partner. No, let's discuss the terms that we can work with each other. Okay, what are the terms? Okay, are you monogamous? Are you polygynous? That has to be discussed from the beginning. And if the person is polygynous, you're gonna want to discuss, okay, in that polygynous agreement, how many wives are in it? Is it gonna be 2? Is it gonna be 3? Or is it gonna be any amount without anything? No, it doesn't work like that. There has to be an agreement to say, okay, if this family unit is closed up with two women, or is he gonna have 3 women or 5? There has to be a set amount, so you're staying within the confinements of that marital covenant. Just like what's his name, um Leah and Rachel's father Laban, right? He made an agreement. He said, hey, this is the covenant, right? You cannot add any more wives to this unit. This family unit is closed with you along with these 2 wives. There's no more adding any other wives. So there has to be an agreement that you guys come to say, okay, this is the you cannot pass this amount of wives. You cannot add wives beyond this amount. If one person is monogamous and the other person is polygynous, guess what? That has to be a non-negotiable. That has to be discussed. What are your non-negotiables as a man? What are your non-negotiables as a woman? And you guys state all of that in the agreement. You are setting up a confinement that you can live within that means without going outside to destroy the marriage, the union. So you have to have your non-negotiable as a woman, and he also has his non-negotiables as a man, and you put them together and say, yes, I can live with this, I can work with this, I can live with this, I can work with this. Those things are not negotiable. There is no going around them. So don't be promising something that you cannot live up to, nor don't be agreeing to something that you cannot offer. Non-negotiables. Next thing, you're going to talk about core values, core beliefs, right? What are the beliefs that you hold? The morality, the way of living, the way of life. Because that too has to be compatible. The morality has to be compatible. Because you might see this thing as disrespect, the other person might not see it as disrespect, and it can later on create conflicts. Sometimes it can go on and on until the conflicts become irreconcilable. So you want to discuss these things in details. Diet, that is very important, because sometimes one person might eat this way, the other person might eat this way. You don't want to be holding on to a certain spiritual code or a spiritual way of life, and it's nothing for the other person, and they're eating it, they're preparing it in your home. So you have to maintain that one image. You want to know that behind your back, certain foods are not being prepared in your house. The spirituality has to be discussed, the culture, because a lot of us are living so many different cultures that you don't hold to one thing, so you don't really stand for anything. Now it's going to be hard to have a relationship with a person who holds on to a concrete way of life, a foundation. And this is also going to be important for the children, because once you start having children, okay, what are the children going to be learning? Are they going to be learning my way of life, or are they going to be learning your way of life? So this is why it's important for the man and the woman to come into that cultural agreement to say, okay, what spiritual values morality, standards, principles are we going to hold on to that we can pass on to our children as part of the legacy? You don't want to be teaching a certain form of consciousness or conscious way to reality while this person hold on to a whole different belief and be passing on that to your children. You want to know that as a man, when you're out there doing what you're doing, your wife is teaching your children as if she is you. She's remodeling. She's remodeling your children in your image. So even when you pass off, guess what? It's like you never left. Because those sons are the expressed image of you. There's nothing the Most High glorifies in more than a man and woman that agree together. So that covenant is very important, whether it's done in words, it's done by mouth, it's done in writing, it's done in video recording, it's done in audio recording, whatever way you want to do that. Because we're living in a different times. It's not like back then where you can give your word and your word is your will. No, people will give their word. They'll even put it in writing and say that was not what I meant. So it's good to even, go through the verbal process, explaining, not trying to impose our thinking, okay, this is what the person means, but let them explain exactly what they mean. And if there's something that is not clear or something that's not really mentioned in your way, you have to put that forth and put it in a form of question and let them answer it. And then you can save that recording to say, okay, this is what is going to hold us, this is what we're going to be held accountable to. These are my words, these are your words. So guess what? The family, the father of the husband, is going to hold him accountable to his end of the bargain. The thing is, a lot of us do not have that father to son relationship anymore. So there's no one even there to hold the man accountable. There's only so much that some of his friends can say. This is the importance why this is the importance of the family in the agreement, because the family of the woman should hold the woman accountable, and the family of the man supposed to hold him accountable. So you wouldn't have to be worried about divorce, because once he starts slipping, the father is going to be there to say, hey, what's that you're doing? This is why he said around there, take her according to the law of Moses.